Boom.
All right. So here we are on Tuesday instead of Monday, so we're a day late from our normal schedule, but we are going to quickly get through episode 110 and 111 by the pricking of my thumbs and devil's mark, because next week I plan on doing 3 episodes
Yeah.
because I want to get through Lallybroch the Watch, which I actually like both of those episodes, and then The Search. I'll give The Search 5 minutes at the end. It was just frustrating. The search frustrates me.
I know. Everyone feels that way. And I don't know. I still say I thought it was funny.
Yeah. So anyway, but tonight we have By the Pricking of My Thumbs to start with, and I had forgotten how that one started until I watched it again. I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, okay. Now I remember this part that I watched a few times.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
So,
the rest of it fails. It just kind of pales off.
Yeah.
Don't care about the rest of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then of course I had to laugh over Murtaugh's impeccable timing.
Right.
You know, and obviously absolute disregard for, a newly married couple and him saying that they're still sleeping in bed, why is he still in bed, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really? Obviously you have never, ever been in this situation because there ain't a whole lot of sleeping going on. But they ended up introducing the whole pardon plot line.
Right.
Which, I don't know, I found completely, not totally believable, and I can't believe that they would rely so much on somebody who's English. The Duke of Sandringham was going to be able to
change something.
Yeah, just this complaint, whatever I can't remember what they call the complaint. I just saw it, and now I can't remember what they call it.
It was just for harassment or for abuse or something. Yeah,
but it was because basically Ned Gowan came forward and said, nobody's taken your word over that of an English soldier. And I made, a captain at that. So just get the pardon thing out of your head as far as being pardoned for that. What we need to do is we basically need to get Randall in trouble.
Yeah, you need to call in somebody else. So
yeah. So, I don't know. I found this whole plot line is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
And Claire saying, don't trust him, but I can't tell you why not to trust him.
Right.
And then going behind Jamie's back to go see him. I hated that.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. I know back when it aired, I made a comment somewhere, it's probably on Previously TV or something, about that house, that Georgian house. Here they are out in the middle of nowhere, living in a stone castle and all this crap. And there's this big old Georgian house with painted walls. And
although they talked about the fact that he'd taken residence at
he rented
something house.
But if she has time to pop over for tea and go back, it's too damn close. And what the heck is that place doing there? I don't know. It just kind of took me out of the whole primitiveness, I guess, of the castle and everything. Because the castle is still, even though it's cozy and well done and lit and lots of fires, it just seems so rough. And then you see that nice house with the big glass windows.
Well, I think for me, it was a definite delineation between how the native Scots live.
Oh, yeah.
And how, an Englishman who has an estate would build some kind of a manor house.
Yeah.
To have a Scottish country estate.
Yeah.
So to me, it was that definite, delineation between those two people.
The cultures, yeah.
Yeah, because the Scots are living in that native ancient castle. Because I think it was one of those things to let us know that castle is ancient. I think that castle supposedly was supposed to be built in like the 1500s.
Right, yeah.
First built in the 1500s. And that manor house looked much more recent, like within the last 100 years.
Yeah, it's a Georgian house. It's beautiful, but
so you're looking at something that was built in the early 1500s to something that was built maybe in the late 1600s, early 1700s.
Right, that's true.
So it's
a good way to look at it. It just seemed strange to me because
but for me it was very, very representational of the Duke of Sandringham. You know, he would never deign to live in something as, I don't want to say primitive, but, you know, not as refined.
Right. That's true. Well,
as that place.
He's even making comments about something inside. I'm not sure what, but he's walking
Doesn't he say it'll do?
What's that?
Doesn't he say, I suppose it will do?
It'll do, yeah, because there's something wrong with the something in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it just seemed kind of funny.
Yeah, to me, it was just a definite letting you know that this is definitely not how the Scots are living.
Right.
This is another example of the difference between the English and the Scots.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
But yeah, and, you know, the Duke, it took me a while to kind of get over the how they used him differently in the show as opposed to the book. Because at least in the book, I could see, you know, because they never actually even got into Jamie asking him for help in the book. Jamie went hunting with him to try and start and get back, you know, back in his good graces, and he was going to bring it up while they were out hunting.
And doesn't he do that? But it's off page.
It's off page, but I think when he comes back on screen, he even says he didn't have a chance to really get into it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because Murtaugh came and got him because of what's going on with Claire in the next episode.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So they had just, you know, barely started.
True, because it actually happened some other time. So yeah.
So yeah, that's
true.
Yeah, trying to bring this guy in. I don't know. There's some adaptation choices that I was always like,
yeah,
I don't know why you couldn't have
just done it
more from the book in this particular instance, and why you stuck so much to the book in this instance.
And then that's true, because it all came down to the same thing. You had to have Dougal and Jamie away from the castle, you know, and so that was what happened in the book. And
yeah, because they went hunting.
So they could have just gone the route of the book and not.
Except it makes it much more dramatic to have brought out the whole. I mean, we're getting a little ahead in the episode, but the whole, you know, Gillis and Dougal and Colum realizing that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, that Dougal had been involved with Gillis, and that Gillis had probably just murdered her husband, and.
True. Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and then him becoming absolutely, you know, Colum becoming absolutely outraged and banishing Dougal. Right. I guess it's much more dramatic for the storyline as far as the people watching.
Yeah,
so
true.
It's a much quieter.
Yeah.
You know.
Colum was upset, but he was just going to let it go, you know, kind of thing. He didn't kick Dougal out. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, there was none of that obvious, you know, Dougal and Gillis, because I don't even remember. Claire doesn't find out in the book, Claire doesn't find out that it's Dougal's baby until they're in the thieves' hole, does she?
No, yeah, she doesn't find out till then.
So yeah, she doesn't know ahead of time.
She doesn't know. You remember, well, we're back to the book. She overhears the conversation, the argument that Colum
and thinks it's Leary, doesn't she?
Yeah, and thinks it's Leary.
Yeah.
Leary hears it and runs off. And
right.
Her, but yeah.
So yeah.
She doesn't know until Gillis tells her. Yeah.
So anyway, that whole, you know, and of course, I guess it was their way of being able to get Lotta Verbeek naked.
Yeah.
In that, you know, dancing by the fireside scene.
Yeah. Gotta make sure. And after all that, Claire doesn't think to do it.
Which I actually found cinematically beautiful.
Right.
The intercutting of, you know, Galis's fire dance with the Druid, you know, dance from what Claire and Frank witnessed, the way they intercut those two things, I thought was gorgeous.
Yeah.
To watch.
And I guess really maybe it links. We'll find out, maybe, spoiler, that it'll link it later, because Gillis may have seen the ladies at the.
Yeah.
So she may have seen what Claire and Frank saw once. So.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Later.
Later.
Much later.
2 books from now.
What's that?
2 books from now.
It's not this next one? I don't know. I have to think. No, it isn't. They didn't talk to her in this one. Or did they? I don't remember. I know we just read
not in this. I was going to say
No, I guess not, because we just read it. So
I don't remember. We know from the next one that we just read that Jillian did some research and talked to Fiona.
Right. Yeah, and that's who she is. Right?
But I don't know if we actually did we get that deep into her notebooks?
No.
I think it's the next book that we get a little bit deeper into what's actually written in her notebooks.
Right, that's true.
Or we may have just skipped over it because I was exhausted by that time.
No, I don't think there was much.
So I think we just kind of got the highlights of,
The connection. I think we
so.
got. So yeah.
But what else is in this episode?
Oh,
we get the Claire and Leary confrontation.
Right.
Right there at the beginning.
Larry saying she'll see her in hell or whatever.
Well, no, this is one where Claire confronts her in the kitchen.
Right, yes.
And says, I understand, you have deep feelings that aren't returned, but blah, 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 and smacko.
Yeah, hits her, then apologizes to her. Yeah.
It's a sorry, not sorry kind of apology, though. Because she deserved it. I mean, she was extremely disrespectful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I saw. That's extremely disrespectful of someone,
right,
who is married to, I don't care what you think of her marriage. She's still now the niece of the laird of your clan.
That's true.
Because that's a couple of the problems I have with this characterization of Leary.
Yeah, that she's a little too.
That she's a little too modern, sulky teenager.
Yeah.
And they just kind of gloss over the fact that she's acting like, today's 16-year-old, where she feels like she can spout off and say whatever she wants to say, or be as promiscuous as she wants to be, and there's going to be no repercussions.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, this time in 1743, girls didn't do that.
No. She would have just sucked it up and lived with whatever happened. She wouldn't have.
She never would have come out and said it to somebody's face.
The ill wish was reasonable, that she went and got an ill wish, but she wouldn't have done it to your face, and she would never have confronted.
Of someone who she knows is one of her grandmother's favorites in the castle.
True. That's true too. That they're friends. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like this characterization of Leary was a little too modern for my taste.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
For people not to have said, wait a minute.
Yeah, why are you
acting way out of what is acceptable for someone her age, in her position, in this time.
Yeah.
That's why I kept saying to myself, well, evidently I think her father may have had good reason to have had her beaten. By the laird, bringing her up. For loose behavior. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Because she didn't seem all that uncomfortable being half naked in front of Jamie. So I'm just wondering how many other boys she has, offered herself to.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this does play out in the future. Because of future situations. I'm really curious how it plays out. I mean, how this informs the next step.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing, it will make what's coming up even more heartbreaking for Jamie.
Yeah.
What if they continue if they follow the storyline in Voyager. Yeah.
Right.
And we find out that particular, storyline on down, the fact that she is so adamant about him belonging to her and being meant for her and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that might make it. Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to look forward to that.
Yeah, we got another whole freaking year and a half before we get to that.
At least. So. What else was this?
So we get the Duke and then the duel.
The duel. Yeah.
Which I think was just an excuse to show Jamie, in a duel.
Right.
Taking on 3 men at once.
Right, like he threatened to do.
Because it was like, really? I'm not, the whole duel thing, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
It's a really wimpy, it's one of the weaker plot points.
Right.
in this. I mean, I like this episode.
Uh-huh.
I just think the whole Duke of Sandringham plot line is really weak as far as...
Well, this part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about what we've seen.
Yeah, what we've seen, he's kind of like just an extra character, really, but there's hope. I mean, they leave it where he takes the letter and he's gonna sign it,
present it, and
So Jamie has hope, and he can go home to Lollybrock. And
well, and Claire stitching him up. I love that whole Claire stitching him up, and his whole comment about, you're not normally a silent woman, Claire. And then she jabs him again, and he's like, but silent anger can be very effective.
Yeah. I guess that's one of the outtakes where she actually did stab him.
She actually did grab him, yeah. He has done really good, and she was like, oh, is that? He's like, that's me. That's Sam. That's really Sam.
Really got Sam. Yeah.
And then we get that whole confrontation scene between Colum and Dougal where they're, at loggerheads and just absolutely nose to nose about the whole Galus thing. And
Right.
And then, Colum banishing Jamie at the same time. I was just kind of like, I guess you're pissed off because of the duel with the McDonald's.
Yeah, because that's why he got mad, and because Jamie is still really under his protection, and now he's brought some McDonald wrath.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got to
possibly
down here, so we've got to.
So so he sends them both off.
Yeah.
Gone.
So they ride off, that last little goodbye. Once again, Jamie saying, stay away from Galus. Once again, Jamie giving Claire
orders
and, for a reason. And then what's the first thing that happens in the next scene?
Yeah.
Claire runs off to see Galus.
Yeah, she gets a letter and runs off to see Galus.
So, Claire's inability to listen to anybody tell her to do something for her own good gets her in trouble. So it's like, woman, I'm not sure you don't deserve some of this stuff. Just for being stupid.
Yeah, just for making bad choices. Well, but she considers, even with all the crap going on, she considers Galus a friend. For whatever.
She does, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So, getting caught up in that whole thing. That whole scene was pretty much right from the book.
Pretty much.
Except for I don't remember. She didn't see Leary in the book, did she?
No. Which part?
Right at the end of by the pricking of my thumbs when she's looking out of the.
No, because Leary wasn't there. I mean, in fact, wasn't it Leary who delivered her the note, though, I think.
I don't remember.
Was it? Maybe it wasn't.
I'd have to go back and read it again, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole smirk thing.
Yeah, she never saw Leary again, basically. So.
Yeah, but again, like I said, that whole smirk thing to me is just the characterization of Leary here. It's so sulky, modern teenager. Yeah. Like, I'm going to get you in trouble and see, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's, we see her carted off with Galus. And then the next scene opens literally like right after that because they're dropped. The next episode, they're dropped right into the thieves' hall.
Yeah, just dropped in the thieves' hall.
Yeah, except I did like I forget to talk about the title cards at the beginning. Because there are some of them that I absolutely adore.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the loading of the pistols for
the last one,
by the pricking of my thumbs, and then we had the Murmuration of Starlings.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
In this one, which I'm one of those people who kind of missed all the bird stuff in the book as far as paying attention to it and having it register with me.
Oh,
and all the bird metaphors and that stuff until I actually was listening to the seminar on it. It was like, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Didn't pick that up the first 3 times I read the book.
Sometimes it's helpful when people are looking.
They're reading it from a different perspective. I mean, they're looking for different things.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, but then Claire does say in this, when she talks to Galus about them having seen the murmuration, how they're sticking together for protection.
True. Yeah.
So, I mean, we get it. The boom, 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 here it is. You know, listen.
True.
But yeah, I do love that whole set as far as the Thieves' Hole goes.
Uh-huh.
Just the darkness and the way it's lit and the light coming in and
right.
all that stuff in there. We get a little, although I think maybe we could have cut a day in this because we're in the Devil's Mark now.
Right.
Which actually was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Because it has some of my favorite moments in it. Claire and Galus talking to each other.
Uh-huh.
At certain moments, I mean, just walking in front of where they're building the pyre, and Claire saying, "Is that what I think it is?" And Galus's response, "Well, it's not a maypole."
Right.
You know, and then we get inside and we get Ned. You know, we get a whole bunch of Ned Gowan.
Yeah.
Which
he operates. Yeah.
Yeah, which we did in the book as well, but we didn't get because in the book the trial took place outside.
Yeah.
Under trees, and the girls, I think the women had to stand the whole time like they did inside, but
they were just outside. Yeah.
Yeah, it was outside, and
Ned kept talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing, is that the comments or the things were the fact that he just kept talking, and he could talk them into the ground until the time they were basically, we're just gonna recess for the day basically and come back tomorrow.
We're all yawning. Everybody was yawning.
Yeah. So, but you know, we started to get the different witnesses.
Right.
At here, and the first one we got was the
maidservant.
It was Jenny.
Right.
Ginny.
Jeannie.
Yeah. I can't remember whatever her name was.
Yeah.
But which, you know, she basically didn't lie about anything.
No, she didn't lie, but then how Ned turns it around on her, saying, "Oh, you're just disgruntled. You wanted to come work at the castle. We know you don't like these people and said bad things about them, so they dismiss her off."
Yeah, but you know, it's an example of Galus has not been careful.
No, she hasn't.
You know, she has been practicing. We know it's not true witchcraft, but it's definitely not just the arts of healing.
Right.
You know, she's been taking advantage of the fact that she was protected by being married to the fiscal. Yeah. And she should have known, you know?
Well, you would think, but you know,
she thought she was protected by Dougal. So
right. And that isn't even revealed. That was something I did think about when watching this thing, is Claire goes to the house to warn her, but never, and then while Galus, this is in the other episode, Galus is so nonchalant, well, what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And doesn't she even say, you know, Dougal won't let that happen. And Claire didn't even take that moment to say Dougal's not here until they're actually arrested. I was like,
were they actually in the Thieves' Hole when she said they've been taken away? You know, they've been sent off. Column sent him off and said he will never let you marry. He will never let him marry you.
Right.
And they've been exiled to his estate, and Jamie's with him, so nobody's coming. I guess it is in that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is once they're in the Thieves' Hole, because that's when she says it again. But Galus is just kind of nonchalant at her house while they're beating at the door, and Claire's saying leave, and she's like, "Oh, nothing's going to happen," you know. And I thought she kind of implied that Dougal was going to help her then, and that's when Claire should have said, "Well, no,
no, he's not coming."
Yeah, he's not coming at all. So you need.
Well, yeah, I think I remember the first time I watched it thinking to myself, why don't you tell her that he's been banished and he's not coming anytime soon?
So, some missing information here that might have
might have spurred her on a little quicker.
Yeah, booted her out the door.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, and there are some great scenes between these two. These two did some amazing work. Yeah. Galus and Lottie and the cat. In this episode, there's some, because I always had an issue with Lotta's characterization of Galis, I had a hard time with it because I was just kind of like, what the hell is she doing?
Yeah.
She's weird. You know, she's weird.
Not how you imagined it would go down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She was just weird. I mean, that's how she came off to me most of the time, was just weird. Not so much, because in the book I kept thinking to myself, oh, she's got a secret. She knows more than what she's saying. Right. And even though I'd read the book and then was watching the show and knowing that she knew more, I was still thinking to myself, she's weird.
Yeah.
But this episode, I mean, she's really good in this episode. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, she did good.
So yeah, we get the maidservant who kind of, lets them have it. And then we get the mother of the changeling, which we skipped over the changeling because that was in the last episode.
Right. So.
Which I was never sure how Claire had all this time to be. She had time to run and see the Duke of Sandringham and come back, and nobody missed her. She had time to go see Galis, and then later that night, waiting until moonlight, until the moon is up.
Right.
So she's again gone from the castle for hours, and nobody misses her. And she's supposed to be the healer.
And there's guards. There would be guards that would see her, so she shouldn't have been able to leave the castle. I know they do say that she now has more freedom. I don't know if they said it in the show, but they definitely say it in the book. Now that she's married to Jamie, she has a lot more freedom. But I'm willing to bet that your freedom doesn't include wandering out the gate after dark.
Yeah, so either she left and came back and then left again, or she never came back after she left the first time, which I'm thinking to myself, somebody would have missed her. You would have thought Jamie at least would have missed her at some point, because they've reconciled. They had the good morning wake up that morning. So
yeah, if she wasn't at dinner, he would have noticed. So.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how is nobody missing her? And he doesn't come to find her until basically the sun is coming up again.
Right, so it's overnight.
Yeah, so I mean that's because we missed that whole fact that Claire and the changeling and Jamie or Galis saying, "Leave that baby alone. The fairy hill will get you in trouble." And again, Claire not listening to people tell her things that are going to get her in trouble.
No, but she knows it's garbage. She
I know.
knows it. So to her, it's like they're letting this baby die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, our second witness is that mother. Right. And Ned turning that around on her was just that would make me want to.
Yeah, but he was trying, because clearly Ned doesn't believe it either. So, but he doesn't want to call a woman a liar or tell her she's stupid. So he did it the best he could and say, well, maybe.
Well, for me, it was like typical lawyer manipulation.
Right.
A lawyer is a lawyer is a lawyer, even if it's 1743 Scotland.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. So. Yeah, he manipulated that one too.
Yeah, and then did we get the crazy guy? Was that the next one? Who saw Galis turn into a bird?
Yeah, saw her turn into a bird. And
yeah.
Yeah, there's that.
Was hilarious. So.
Yeah.
And then being tossed back in the thieves' hole overnight, and having Ned handing Claire whiskey. There's a shocker.
Yeah,
they're being handed the flask of whiskey.
Keep her warm.
Yeah.
Right.
So on another night in the thieves' hole, I don't think there was anything. Is that where she finds out that she's that Galis is a Jacobite and a.
Right. Galis said she had diverted the money and.
Yeah. She had plenty of money. It wasn't the money. It wasn't Dougal's money. It was
Yeah, she took it. She skimmed it for her husband and from her husband and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we're back. I mean, this is basically a courtroom drama.
Right.
It's a Law and Order episode with the order part of it in the trial.
More order, yeah. Yeah. So then you had
Leary.
And made her accusations about potions and.
Yeah.
Claire's like.
And flat out lied about the fact that Claire took it herself when it's like.
Yeah, really.
No, I don't know. Again, this is this modern day manipulative teenage girl.
Yeah, and she shows up there without parents or anybody else to appear in court, in that era. her family's not there. Well, we don't know if her family's
that somehow she doesn't have duties somewhere that she's missing.
Yeah, and yeah, they don't know she's there, kind of, because even
because the people of Leok were told to stay away from Cranesmere.
And Ned even says that in this episode that he was told not to go there. So why here she's gone down there, with no one.
Not only is she disrespectful to Claire, but she is in direct defiance of her laird.
Yeah, so there's another problem.
So again, I have problems with the way they've written this girl.
Things, yeah.
And then we get Father Bane.
Yeah, and that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and what's hilarious is that I keep hearing from it must be from Alistair, who said that the guy who plays Father Bane is actually a great comedic actor.
Yeah.
In England from Blackadder.
Oh, really?
Serious?
Yeah, okay.
Because he kept saying, I have the hardest time watching him because this is where I'm used to seeing him.
Yeah, he's usually doing comedy. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, he's wonderful in that scene. And it's one of those things that when I see that whole performance and then see him turn and give that, that little smile.
Yeah.
It's what those people are like, what, did he do it on purpose, or is he just happy that's the way it turned out? Or
he could manipulate his sermon, basically.
Well, to me, the way I always saw it was a way for him to tell what was the absolute truth, and keep his soul and conscience clear, because he told the truth,
right,
to those people, but knowing how they were going to interpret this.
Right.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him who turned his testimony against Claire. It was the people.
Right. Because he gave that whole thing and then says, I'm a failure and I quit.
Yeah. So again, that was his way of absolving himself of any culpability or guilt in getting these two women burned at the stake.
Right. Very
because it wasn't he could swear on a stack of Bibles that he told the absolute truth.
Right. He didn't lie. So. Yep, that's true.
So.
Yeah.
And then of course we get the whole, shall not suffer a witch to live, and
right,
all that stuff, and then the what do they say, scalping, stripper and scalper, when they have the whole fight, and Ned being carried away because he pulls a pistol in court.
Right. Yeah, that was funny. He started shooting a pistol in court.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, it's the Wild West.
Yeah. Well, this is where they've already kind of, Ned's been telling him Claire needs to testify against Gillis.
Oh yeah, they've gone off, and he said this is the only way to do this.
Yeah, only way
to turn on her and throw yourself on the mercy of the court, and and then we get that whole scene between Gillis and Claire when Gillis demands to know the truth, and her realizing that when Claire says it was an accident, and Gillis realizing he didn't come on purpose. She's one of those people who fell through the stones, although she knew. We're going to find out she knew about Claire.
Okay.
She knew because those clippings are in that book.
But I contest that, so.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk. When we get to that book, we'll talk about it. I contest that she knew, specifically Claire.
She knew, and I think she knew she came back.
Okay, I don't.
I don't know. I'll read it again for the 5th or 6th time.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Yes, no, she doesn't. She doesn't know. I don't know. Never mind. We'll talk about it when we get to that book.
Yeah.
Those books. There's 2 more. So.
Yeah, but like I said, I think that may be a section that I kept reading past quickly.
Yeah.
In Voyager, because I wanted to get to the good stuff.
I may be misremembering myself, so we'll talk when we go through that book.
Yeah. But we still get that great. Again, I think this is kind of Lotta's big, huge scene as far as her best work.
Yeah.
right there, that realization that, you know,
Yeah, she's gonna have to sacrifice herself.
or they're both going to die. That she's
both,
there on purpose.
Yeah,
and
there was an accident.
an accident, and that letting her live means that she won't keep trying to change anything. She just wants to go home.
Right.
So she can do this one kind of noble last thing.
I don't think Gillis thinks that Claire's trying to change anything. Not really, or maybe she did. Maybe she did suspect, but doesn't Claire kind of pretty much reaffirm, I'm not trying to change anything. You know, I can't leave. I can't go back. I don't know if I can go back. You know, kind of.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying right here. She realizes she's always suspected that Claire was not at that time.
Right. But
always been suspicious of her because of the fact that she just suddenly appeared, and she has all this knowledge, and you know the whole Nathan Hale quote down in the thieves' hole.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah, one life to live for my country.
Yeah, but again, somebody did point out the fact that Claire's English.
Yeah.
Gaylis is Scottish.
That's
a very American Revolution.
Yeah.
Anecdote that as Americans, we all recognize that.
I pointed that out on a message board myself, thinking, would an English woman from 1945 or a Scottish woman from 1967 absolutely recognize that quote? Maybe they would. I mean, I don't know what.
I don't know what part of it, what amount of is taught about the American Revolution.
Yeah, and from that perspective, I don't know. And it's just like saying, I can't tell you anything that Admiral Nelson might have said. I mean, you know, but there's probably English people that could tell you, you know, or your British people that could tell you some famous quote, but I can't come up with one and know that was something he said.
Maybe it is very representational of a patriot, you know? Maybe. That's how it might be known outside of our, you know, us knowing it because it's part of our history.
I mean, I get that because it's written, or this is basically being filmed for an American audience, for the most part.
Written by an American author.
And written by an American author. So yeah, that would be the audience that most of us get that. But yeah, that's an interesting thing that they would use, you know. So, but then she does in the story say that she had Yanks. She's you know, when she was a nurse during the war, World War II, she did know Yanks and people from American soldiers. So
yeah,
I don't know, just an odd thing.
Yeah. But so anyway, I mean, we get Gaylis's famous I'm going to a fucking barbecue line.
Yeah, that was funny. I made me laugh when I heard it.
And there was research done that said that barbecue actually was known.
Oh, sure.
Quite a bit prior to this.
Oh, okay. That term for cooking meat
it's not an anachronistic term in this time.
No,
because there was barbecue.
Yeah, it was a term. It was a way to cook meat that they considered.
So they knew, you know, probably not the exact way that we see in term barbecue, but it's not, like I said, it's not anachronistic, just out of the blue.
Yeah, like it would be a statement from a different time. Yeah.
Right. Right, but and then we get then we go back to the whole confrontation, you know, Claire getting whipped and Jamie coming in and stopping and doing that specific scene from the book.
Right, stopping on here. God,
that exact verbiage from the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get Gaylis's whole, you know, heroic
confession. Yeah.
And then showing that, and you know, making a thing about showing the smallpox scar.
Well, because you know how it's described in the book, only Claire sees it. She doesn't. It's not that makes them believe she's a witch. They already believe.
No, she starts doing the whole dance thing, you know, and stripping her clothes off, or they've been stripped. Either she stripped them off or they'd been stripped.
Yeah, she starts spinning, and then Claire sees the scar.
Yeah,
that's on her arm, but nobody else does. So,
but they wouldn't make note of it because it could be a pox scar.
Yeah, you know? True.
Because there were a lot of people with pox scars.
Right.
At that time.
So yeah, so the fact that they emphasized it to show that that's how Claire, which is how she does figure it out in the book, really, because in the book she doesn't tell her she's from 1967 or
No,
19,
because that comes from Dougal
yeah, it comes from Dougal.
later
So
in the cave.
yeah,
In that episode that I want to kill myself over.
see, and they could have left it for that too. That would have made that a little more interesting, a little more intrigue.
No, they spent too much time gallivanting across the damn country to be able to turn that in. Put that in.
Meet Dougal in the cave, but okay, that's next week.
That's next week. So, but then we get the whole second half. That's kind of like the end of the whole, Law and Order segment.
Right.
And then we get the second half of the story.
Yeah, where
which
she
is
tells
Claire and Jamie out in the woods together, and her with her big confession.
Right. She confesses, tells him the story. Do you really believe me?
Yeah.
I believe you. So
yeah, and Jamie's whole, guilt about beating her because when he realized that she was just trying to get back to Frank.
Yeah. See, and that kind of, to me, that was absolution for Jamie, is that even though I know, even though people argue or might argue that he never should have beat her, even no matter what her reasoning was, but he definitely got a different perspective once he realized that there's no way she would have even expected to get whipped for doing anything, that crosses him, because it just doesn't happen. Once she, and she had purpose. She didn't just wander off because of any other reason. So.
Right. It wasn't her just being disobedient.
Yeah, or spiteful or anything. So.
Yeah.
That was a good scene. That was a good scene between the two of them also. Just her telling the story and his reactions to it. I thought that was a real good scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the line, about the fact that it would have been easier if you'd only been a witch.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept that too.
Yeah.
But the whole time she's sitting there, her back is bared. And I'm thinking she has got to be freezing.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking that back is extremely sensitive.
Oh yeah,
It's still on fire from those whip marks.
They should have kept the part in where he puts the leaves on her or whatever. Tries to treat it a little bit with a fold. They maybe should have kept that part in but I know that they wanted to show the whip marks on her back.
Yeah.
So. But yeah,
and then we get the whole riding across, and her talking about how she was trying to picture herself at Lollybrock and just being, and this was kind of a place I was kind of like, she's so disconnected, and I guess we're just supposed to.
She's still in shock.
Take the fact that she's still in shock over what's happened and can't believe what's happened, but I don't know. She's told Jamie the truth, and he's
accepted it and
believes her, and
yeah.
So this whole moving, her thinking they're going to Lollybrock, and then that last night by the fire, and I guess that's one of those scenes that those of us who had read the book found the first time through, everybody watching it found it much more touching and unselfish and emotional than the people who were just TV watchers.
Yeah.
That scene by the fire, and and the way Jamie was acting.
Right.
So, but then it's like the next morning, that little, quasi-coitus made her ready to go home. Because it's like, all of a sudden, yes, I'm ready to go home. Last night was so good, I'm ready to go to Lollybrock.
But she's thinking Lollybrock, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is that all of a sudden she's enthusiastic about going to Lollybrock. So it must have been really good for her.
Yeah. She's going to stay and do that, so.
But but then the whole, I love that whole climbing the hill and her realizing her expression, that sudden shock on her expression, and that whole giving your character what they've wanted all along.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, here it is. Here you go. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not quite sure if this is really what I want or not.
Right.
That kind of disbelief, and is it...
Now she really gets to make the choice. It's all hers. No one's going to stop you. Here's your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, he's ready to send her on her way. They can, and
and that whole
ready to send her on her way.
Yeah, the whole scene between the two of them, and then him going down. But when she looked back and saw the smoke, that was a long damn way away.
Yeah.
Where his camp was. I'm thinking to myself, that camp's a long damn way away, really? But and it's the one time that I'm thinking to myself, this is the one time I'm not sure I would have minded a voiceover with what she's thinking.
Right. Because there's a whole thing in the book on that where she's, weighing up both
going
sides.
back and forth and thinking
hot
and
water, hot baths, and electric
because
light.
it left people there is a contingent who still believe the reason she didn't go back is because it didn't work.
Yeah. They never showed that it could have worked. See, because they could have done that when she goes to, when she just unconsciously does, and he does stop her. But I know in the book she actually starts
to fade. But I know I heard Ron D. Moore say he didn't want to do that whole mystical thing.
but yeah, because that's in the book where that's when he really believes that
he pulls her away because she had a hand on it.
Yeah, she was
starting to go.
Yeah. So, and that's when he does believe that it works, because he never really did. I mean, he just let her talk. It doesn't make any sense to him. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little stronger in his trust in her by him not actually seeing it happen.
Right.
So.
Right. So.
There's pros and cons there, but it's still, it's one of those things I was just kind of like, I don't like the fact that there are people who are confused about the fact that, no, she chose to stay.
Yeah.
It's not that she tried to go and couldn't, so she decided, oh, well, I can't get back anyway, so I'm going to go be with Jamie. Yeah. Or that she went back and decided to come back again.
Right.
There's those people who are like, well, maybe she went back and decided that she didn't want to really be there.
Yeah.
So and I guess that's just me wanting everybody to know what I know.
Right.
That it was a choice made, that she consciously made. And maybe if we had gotten that line, it was a close thing, the hot baths almost won.
Right.
We could have even gotten it then. We could have done it with no voiceover and just had that one line when she went back.
Right. Talk to him, to wake him up,
and say that,
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of did, and I know that they've said they didn't want the voiceover there, but I think they did miss a couple of good plot points or good motivational points, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, they could have taken care of that whole confusion from people just by having that whole, a few lines of dialogue when they're together again.
Yeah.
That would have taken care of that and explained the fact that no, she chose not to go. She chose to stay. Because she basically says, doesn't she say, the hot baths nearly won, but when it came down to it, I bloody well couldn't live without you.
Yeah.
Something to that effect.
Yeah.
So, I missed that line, and I missed his line about praying the whole way up the hill to have the strength to let her go.
Yeah.
Was the hardest thing I've ever done, so I'm going to do the second hardest thing and take you to Lollybrock.
Right.
So those are two things I missed from the book that I still miss.
Right. They could have had that in there too.
I still go back and look at it and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
These two big emotional lines are, especially the Jamie line. For some reason, I really missed that. And the other one was basically just, again, it would have been a bit of a payoff for me for her to say, I bloody well couldn't live without you.
Right. So, oh well. Failure.
Yeah. So anyway, then we fade to black and
set it up for next week.
Yep. So next week we're going to start with Lollybrock and then go into the watch and end up with the search. So we may be a little long next week. We actually went almost an hour tonight, but
yeah, that's fine.
We'll see. I'm hoping maybe I can make us a little more structured. Knowing that we have 3 episodes to get through, maybe I can help make us a little more structured.
Yeah.
Next week. So, but that will leave us the last 2 episodes the Monday before the season premiere.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. So Monday next week.
Okay. Monday.
Yeah, Monday next week, 8 o'clock. 3 episodes, which I have 2 that I really like and 1 that I really do not. But again, it's because of the fact that I was just listening to Alistair and Lonnie from the Scott and the Sassenach do their commentary on The Search today. And I was in agreement. It was the fact that being a book reader, knowing where we were going in the episode in The Search, but yet knowing everything that came after that, and that we only had 2 episodes left after The Search, and knowing that we were wasting a ton of time and we're going to have to leave so much out of the last quarter of the book. Because we wasted, I feel like we wasted 30 minutes of an episode. But then again, I mean, we can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
So. All right, guys. So hopefully we'll see you next week.
Okay. Hopefully get some more people in on this one.
Yeah. We'll maybe push some people a little this weekend.
Really?
So.
Come on.
Oh, it is Easter weekend, isn't it?
Oh, gosh. Yes, it is. Oh,
Easter
gosh.
weekend.
Maybe you want to do it Tuesday? Well, to give people a chance to get through the weekend? I mean, I don't know. Think about it.
I'll start posting about watching all 3 episodes now.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have family there this weekend.
Right. That's true. You'll be busy.
So.
Your stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there something going on. I just have to rush home from my 6 o'clock meeting when we do it on Tuesdays, which I did tonight, which was fine.
Well, okay, so anyway.
I don't have anything else on the agenda except that 5:30, that meeting from 5:30 to 7.
Okay.
It makes it better if we can meet at 8:30. That's the problem, that I need to push it to 8:30 on Tuesdays to make sure I can get home in time.
Yeah, but then we got 3 episodes. I guess not. No.
Yeah, so.
But get everything.
We'll see. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to stop this so it doesn't get super, super long.
Okay.